Well, the goals were obviously to identify, preserve, and interpret our heritage. But the really early days of Wheeling Heritage was multiple years of planning, a interpretive plan, a tourist plan, an economic development plan, a marketing plan. What was the result was a lot of paper and no implementation. And I think Wheeling was hungry for implementation.
I grew up here in Wheeling as a member of this church, and I know for me, I sort of strayed away from me being Greek and from the Orthodox faith when I was young. And then I started really embracing Greek dancing, embracing that community, and that sort of led me back to all of it.
The first time I came into this space and I seen how much it was going to take and the amount of funds that we were going to need to make it into what it is today, I almost kind of stepped away from it because I couldn't see, how are we going to get there was challenging.
I can clearly remember that day when, we found out it was going to be closing. It felt like such a loss. It felt like you were losing your family home.
We would go to vintage and historic events everywhere. We would always come back, and it seemed like we always crossed over the Fort Henry Bridge when we were coming back. And I would look down at Heritage Port and I would say to Dan, you know what? I know we could do this here. I know this would be a success here. Well, why don't you do it then? If you think we can do it, why don't you do it? And I said, okay, I will.
I like people, I like stories about people, I like anything that's heartwarming and makes you feel good, and I think this is a step beyond.
I mean, it's just been such an important part of our lives between growing up here and meeting here, working here. I think it was a trip to a grocery store to pick up extra concessions or something like that. Was our first unofficial date.
Greek dancing is a very small part of the community, but I think for me it was sort of the doors that was like, you're welcome here, and anyone is welcome here, and anyone can experience this.
It happened at a time where we were clearly outgrowing the space that we were in. I mean, the business was picking up. I mean, the whole lot that we were detailing in was full at times. People were kind of starting to run into each other, and, it was hard to find, enough space to feel comfortable.
I was watching the theater deteriorate, before my eyes, so it was just really sad. And then to see it come back to so much life and even bigger and more beautiful than we could ever have imagined it when we were little.
It was a one-day event. We had 32 boats come, which was tremendous. And here it is, 2019, and this is our 14th year.
Think of how it has influenced me and how beautiful that is, and how moving it is as a person to know that the people that led up to you and the people who worked for you to have the opportunities that you have experienced some horrible and beautiful things. And whether they're with you or you're not, that they work to give you this opportunity, so why not go for it, whatever that is.
It came to light using, the show of hands funds, our own funds, the funds from the business, kind of pull all of our resources together and say, look, we can actually make this happen.
One of the things when we set this regatta up in 2006 is I always wanted it to be a free event. And we've been able to manage that because of the community support we get to make it something that everybody can come to and have a good time and see something that maybe you won't see anywhere else.
We did it for South Wheeling, just for its place in Wheeling's history. As we got into this more and more and all this stuff, I just went, wow. Isn't it nice? I mean, all of this is donated.
The show of hands experience was phenomenal. I mean, It was the first time that, I was able to be a part of something so community driven and really feel the sense of community in the room and feel the support of the community in the room. So to me, that's a lifetime experience that will never get old.
Where Michael works at the CVB, purchases the theater, and then I happen to get a job with the theater. So then once again, we're back here in a place that we grew up and both love and have meaning there. And then when we got married, we decided to have our wedding reception here in the theater as well, just to keep that part of our story going. It really was the perfect place to have that kind of celebration, especially for us having so much history here.
that was one of our major goals, was for South Wheeling to be recognized for what it is and what it was. So I think being a historic district will perhaps draw the city's attention to South Wheeling more. This would have never happened without Wheeling Heritage.
We've been blessed to have groups like Wheeling Heritage who has been supportive of us financially and emotionally since we started. We couldn't have done this without Heidi saying, "You guys can do this. This is going to be great." You know, I think she caught our enthusiasm and knew that this is something really different for Wheeling. It's, you know, okay, so maybe it's not historic, maybe it is.
If it weren't for Greek Fest, I would not have as much of a value for those traditions and for this community.
I think if we continue to involve the community, have community events here, I think it's only going to continue to grow with success.
That's maybe the bad, I'm going to get teary. That's maybe the best thing about what we do, that we have been able to bring to the city that we love so much. We've been able to bring an event that has impacted our city, that brings people and fills our hotels and fills our restaurants for a weekend.
I certainly think it was one of the turning points for the revitalization of the downtown area.
You're seeing people actually be able to produce a good life for themselves based off the opportunities that are here. So it's like when I'm able to kind of have a passion for what I like to do and create businesses and opportunities for people, it's a great place to be.
People get to see how charming Wheeling really is, and they want to come back because of the hospitality and the way people treat them here.
The community that we're in makes you just feel like you're in a very large family.
Yeah,
and,
true.
and very close-knit. So I love being around here in Wheeling.
We just had so much fun with it, you know. But anyhow, they've been our friend from the beginning, and when I get all fired up about something, there was always somebody at Wheeling Heritage that would listen, help, offer things.
Everybody hears us. Everybody knows the regatta's back in town. It's time to, it's time to get down to the waterfront.
It's more than just a theater because it's being used for, we've done Christmas parties, we do weddings, we're doing a surprise birthday party this year. I mean, it's more than just a theater for shows. It's a place for the people here.
With the show of hands and the Wheeling Heritage, I'm always going to be a supporter with them and always keep you guys in my prayers that you continue to help somebody else with their dreams. Because you made ours come true.
That is an important theme, and that like we're doing this, but it's not just us. It's also all these people behind you that did the same thing and did similar things, and that should influence you, and that should give you that grounding as a person. And I think you can find that with any culture and with any, I think that's important to keep that connection. And it's work to make sure that is instilled in future generations and that it is still valued and still seen for what it is.
It's going to change. I just hope that it changes into something that stimulates peace and beauty and respect for everybody. I just think that's important.
All of our projects and all of our programs help to build a platform or a stage in which our community members can really be highlighted and showcased. The idea of who we are it comes from the people that are here. The projects that we've done just provide the space for those people to come together and to share ideas and to continue to build our community.
The impact of Wheeling Heritage has to be on a more personal one-on-one basis. And they have to have a sense of pride of their community. And I think that's same true with people who go to Wheeling Heritage Port or go to the festivals. How about the festivals? And then show of hands. What a great evolution of grants into a community than show of hands. The Capitol Theater, it's been 10 years now and it's been successful. So there are a lot of projects I think Wheeling Heritage can be proud of.
We have to be inspiring, right? We have to be able to lay out a vision that people can gather around. And I think that that's a really great position to be in as an organization, one that gets to respond to the community and say, we hear what you're saying and we see where you want to go and here's how we're going to help you do that. And I think that that statement is so important to who we are as an organization. It's not just about what we're doing and what we're helping to create, but why we're doing it. which is about fostering this community that's incredible and has so much potential to kind of go off and reach the potential for the whole city.